Hey y'all, what's up? It's Loren LoRosa letting you know that when it comes to accident or injury cases, Top Dog Law is a name that you should know. Whether it's a car wreck, slip and fall, construction site injury, don't play games with your future. Top Dog Law doesn't settle for those lowball answers. They get you top dollar, period. The call is completely free and you don't pay unless you win. So call Top Dog Law today or hit them up on Instagram at Top Dog Law or visit topdoglaw.com. These are real cases. You get real results. Top Dog gets it done.
Hold up. Every day I wake up.
Wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
So Young Thug sat down for an exclusive interview with Big Bank on his show Perspectives.
Yep, that you can listen to on the Black Effect iHeartRadio Podcast Network.
Yes, he's one of my Black Effect cousins. So the interview was, 3 hours long, damn
Banks
near.
did a great job.
Yes, it was a great job. So they opened the interview. It was very real from the beginning. They started having a conversation in the beginning about whether Young Thug learned his lesson because we've been seeing so much back and forth with Thug online and then all these jail calls leaking. Let's take a listen to that.
Cause I'm gonna keep it real with you, Slime. Coming out of jail, like it's like you ain't learn your lesson. Hearing these calls, talking on the phone, like what the hell wrong with this shit? Like I know you was in there praying, right?
Absolutely.
Do you not understand your prayers got answered?
Yeah, you understand that, but you also listening to people tell you like, well, you the wizard. You ain't going to prison. And then you gotta understand, man, I was in jail 3 years, bro. Like I was praying 3 whole years. At some point, I started thinking like the prayers ain't working. Like I'm going through every day. I'm looking at my best friend, them do what they do. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at certain and it's making me feel how I'm feeling. Like I ain't never been in pillow talk. I ain't never been in to talk about nobody else in my life on the phone with nobody else. I never been that type of I've been, these last few days, I've been sitting around like, what the was I thinking? Like, what I was doing?
I appreciate you saying that.
I think I was just so up and I just felt like it was just over. Like, I'm just sitting in jail 24 hours on 23 and 1. I'm in a cell 23 hours. At this point, I'm just like, man, I don't give a life. It ain't what I'm thinking it is. Like, I'm just talking. At this point, I'm just talking. But the crazy part is, all these conversations that I had on the phone, I also had with the same I was talking about on the phones. So that's why it don't seem weird between us, me and them. Because I done held these same conversations with Wayne. I done held these same conversations with Savage. We talk like men. We brothers. We talk. You got to understand, like, my standpoint. I'm locked up. I'm on the phone talking to my girl every day. This is the only person I'm talking to on the phone. This is the only person that I can talk to.
The first 20 minutes of this conversation was Banks setting the table for who Jeffrey is, his upbringing. That was dope.
Yes.
So before they even got to that.
Yes.
Right.
And a part of that in that opening was, from what I took from it was, because it was weird. It was like the interview was for us to get this information, but I feel like Big Bang did a really good job, almost like playing therapist. So it was like him putting Thug in a mindset of like, think about who you were before so many different things came into your life, and let's go back to that because right now your thinking is corrupted.
Listen, first of all, drop on the clues bombs for Banks. All right, phenomenal job. There's nobody else who could have conducted that interview. Because regional identity in media matters.
Yes.
Like Atlanta needed to talk to Atlanta.
I agree with that.
Like Banks having knowledge to different nuances, different politics in Atlanta made this one of the best, most compelling interviews I've seen with a rapper in a long time.
But the respect was there as well, though.
Oh,
the
100%.
respect was there, too.
Yeah.
So it was when the questions were asked, it wasn't based off of trying to get a headline. It was based off of respect, and I love that.
Well, you can tell, he said it. Thug respects Banks because Banks was really in the streets of ATL, and Banks understands the inner workings of the street politics in Atlanta, and he knows exactly how the streets feel in Atlanta about the situation. But more importantly, like you just said, Lauren, Banks as a man has done the healing work on himself, so he was able to conduct this conversation with a level of empathy and accountability that a lot of other folks couldn't. And Thug needs to be on his healing journey because that man is hurt.
I agree. Now they do get into the Gunna conversation, which I also thought was handled very well because Big Bank, he played devil's advocate a lot and challenged Thug on some things a lot. Let's take a listen to Young Thug Loves Gunna.
And brotherhood, I honor that. I love you, bro.
So you still love him?
Bro, I poured so much into this. I can't even hate him, bro. In jail, I thought I hated him when he took the pleas when they did that. I thought I hated these. My girl made me realize, like, but you don't hate him. You just mad at him. You don't hate him, bro. But I don't wish no ill will on him. No ill feelings at all.
Stop the man album though. That hit the way.
Because I was just angry. But it seemed like nobody understanding why I'm angry. Bro, all the I did for this, like, what are you talking about, bro?
I understand where Thug is coming from. The hardest thing for men to say, people in general, is, yo, you hurt my feelings. Thug's feelings were hurt. He felt betrayal. He's sitting in jail, and that man was hurt and projecting that pain onto a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people understand. He said nobody understood why he was hurt. No, we all understood why you were hurt. Somebody that you considered a friend. You didn't
think
understand
so?
why?
No, I understood it.
No,
but I think
I understood exactly why he was hurt.
I feel like Thug is responding to a lot of the public perception and reaction.
I agree.
The reaction was not, we get why Thug is hurt. The reaction was, aha, Thug, you turn the fingers on Gunna, and now they're on you.
Oh, you mean now?
Yeah, now. But that's what he's talking about. He's like, he's literally said in this interview a couple times, I'm here because I feel like as a man, I need to speak to certain things because people are questioning my moves.
Morals.
His morals. And he feels like Gunna has not spoken to anything. Now let's take a listen because Big Bang did get into a conversation he had with Gunna when Gunna first came home, and it was the first time that Thug had heard this information. Let's take a listen to that.
Reason why Slime ain't with Gunna, cause he already done put the word out and stamped it to and he gotta stand with these. Not saying it's right or wrong. It's like, how the hell I'm finna make these they friendship or whatever, they camaraderie with the and then I come home. And then I talked to Gunna when he first got out of jail. I was trying to get an interview with him. He was like, man, I ain't worried about none of these saying. I know my brother in that box up. I was just in that mind ain't right. Whatever. I don't give a he telling these. If it ain't when he get out of jail, they're my brother. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I know he love me. He knowing I wouldn't have did that. I triple asked them folks, is this gonna affect my brother? That's what he told me.
Listen, he should use this opportunity to forgive Gunna because I'm listening to the convo, as I was listening to the convo with Banks, it seems like, Thug has I hate calling him Thug. Jeff has a lot of understanding towards everyone else and why they cop please. But, with Gunna, he took it a lot more personal. Also because I think of how Gunna might have handled it when he came home. He specifically said Gunna wasn't looking out for his mom. And he just felt like Gunna wasn't there for him the way he should have been.
Yes, but also, too, he talked a lot about the fact that the other pleas only happened because, according to Thug, because when Gunna switched the conversation about what YSL was, everybody basically had to get out of Dodge. So it would have more weight on it. That
was that conversation when he said, yes, ma'am, when he was like, is YSL a gang?
Yes,
ma'am. Yes.
And if you guys remember when all of that was happening back then, it was like one after the other, like one plea after the other. Right. But Young Thug broke it down and said, well, Gunna's plea happened first, and they just basically had to do that.
They were trying to. The narrative that YSL was a gang wasn't what they wanted.
Yeah.
Correct. But he said Gunna
was the first to
confirmed
say
it.
Yes, that it was a gang.
And you would have thought that the attorneys were having conversations. He said they were to a certain extent, but Gunna was like on an island by himself. Now, in the next hour, because there's just a little bit more I want to get to, because we've been having also a lot of conversations about how Atlanta is in shambles right now, right? They seem so divided, and we don't know Atlanta to be that. I think Big Bank did a really good job also of having a real OG conversation with Thug about why all this needs to stop and how we move on. So we're going to button it up with that at the top of the next hour when we come back.
Great job, Banks, man.
Yeah, amazing.
Phenomenal.
Amazing job. I think also, too, we got to remember, too, Thug signed in 2012, 2013. I'm a Stoner came out in 2014. So the fact that we still having these street conversations 5 years later, 10 years later, that's the problem. We have to know. That's the problem. We have to get to a place where we get out the streets. Like when we say the streets is whack, the streets is corny, right? Because it leads to nowhere.
Well, they tried to have that. Big Bank tried to have that conversation,
and that's just not Atlanta.
No,
that's everywhere.
They had that conversation, and I thought they had it very well. But I'm just telling you, the hardest thing for men to say to other men is, "You hurt my feelings." Straight up. Once you say that, once you tell somebody, "Yo, you hurt my feelings," then y'all can have a real honest conversation about that. That's all therapy teaches you how to do, is to open up, be vulnerable, and communicate. Y'all niggas don't know how to communicate.
Well, we'll get to it some more next hour now. When we come back, we got front page news, and then Ben Shapiro will be joining us. He's the co-founder of the Daily Wire. So don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Hold up. Every day I wake up. Wake your ass up. The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?